Good afternoon and welcome to this week's Moar Guitars Weekly Workshop Video Diary. This week I have mainly been working on Morties. I've had a kind of Morty-free year. They've been actually basically no solid bodies this year. I had one solid body V, a left-handed flying V that I made earlier on in the year. Aside from that, they've all been hollow. So it's nice, kind of at the end of the year, I have a few weeks left of work to put some Morties together. I have 5 on the waiting list. I'm going to try to get actually most of them kind of done, though some are much higher up and much lower down the waiting list. But if I'm making one multi-body, it doesn't hurt that much to make 2, and making 2, I might as well make 3, and the ball rolls. But as you can see, like the Morties I'm making are very different. Here's 2 of them, and although you know the form is similar, like they have different scale lengths. This one is left-handed. Different nut widths, like as kind of as a base price thing on my guitars, you know, the radius and the nut width and the neck carve is all, you know, up to you. So yeah, these are actually very different, but the silhouette is similar. But it's been nice. So this is going to be quite a fun guitar, I think. It's roasted swamp ash body, solid obviously, with the black binding. Bound fretboard and a beautiful rosewood fretboard, 2 fiber pickups, a roasted maple neck. It's going to be great. This is super cool. This is left-handed, this other one here, which unfortunately means I can't play it. But again, actually really cool mix. It's a one-piece walnut body, Babinga fretboard, Wenge neck, 2P90s, getting a switch up here. And the electronics are going to be done in a strange way. They're not. The client wants basically the electronics to be hidden. So you'll see how I do that when I get around to sharing it. But it's been I've just been kind of slogging guitars out. But I've had a few. I have nothing new and finished to do any guitar playing for you today. So you're not going to have to hear, you know, the same licks as I play all the time. But I've had some kind of interesting questions. You'll feel free to, if you have any questions, to type it. And once you're typing, actually use your mouse or your button and click like and subscribe, because I am enjoying posting on YouTube more than Instagram at the moment. So this is kind of where my energy is at right now. Well, actually, my energy is at my guitar building. But if I'm, you know, doing social stuff, I'd rather do it on YouTube than Instagram right now. But anyway, I had some questions. First question was, what's the average weight of my guitars? And it's a huge spectrum, because as you can see, like these 2 guitars are very different, and of course, I have hollow guitars and different woods, like, you know, 2 builds that are identical, but one being poplar, which I would never do, and one being Wenge anyway. The poplar one would be like 2.5 kilos more, sorry, less than the Wenge one. So anyway, saying that, my guitars start kind of around 1.5 kilos. If I was going for a real like weight weenie build, like a guy who had maybe like the main aim was to be as light as possible. So, you know, yeah, every decision was made around weight first. So, like, you know, the tuners were specifically very, very light, and maybe you change the tuner buttons to being, I don't know, carbon maybe, or just very little, and maybe a slightly shorter scale length to bring everything in a little bit, and super hollow, and the lightest pickup you can think of, which I guess would be a piezo. But yeah, maybe 1.5, maybe even less actually, if you really went for it. And then the maximum is as heavy as a piece of lead. I think the heaviest guitar I've made so far is around 4 kilos, maybe 4.2, and that was a really big bass. So yeah, so there's a huge range. I think if you have, like, if you're writing me and or if you're thinking about ordering a guitar and you have a weight in mind, like, feel free to say it, and I can kind of guide you. Of course, if you say you want something that's made of a very heavy wood and you want it to be 2 kilos, I might say that's actually not possible. We have to go a different direction. But yes. Someone else is asking about my waxing process. After I've done my kind of secret blend of oils, I wax my guitars, and it just gets this just kind of the right level of sheen, not like tacky and kind of plasticky shine, but like a kind of smooth finish. And I use just some kind of natural locally sourced waxes. There's a lot of people producing honey around here, so I just use a kind of locally sourced, beeswax. I just a lot of this, and that's kind of where I want to get my shine from. I don't want to get my shine from the oil, because that's the shine that oil can give. If you get enough layers of oil, you can get a really shiny shine, but it doesn't look so good in my opinion. I like to keep a smooth finish with oil and then get the shine from wax. And then people asking what grit I actually sand to. And it's a bit... I actually got one because they're quite hard to get a hold of. I'm not sure if the camera can show, but there's quite a few zeros after that one there. So we go to around 10,000. I budget for a lot of sandpaper in each guitar's kind of material costs. Each guitar gets like a whole pack of this is 5,000 up to 10,000. And it's just like people ask me about the secrets of my finish, and of course there are oils that work better, and there are I know that there are expensive waxes, but the secret of my finishes is just sanding to a really high grit by hand, and natural oils and locally sourced beeswax. It's I think people want the kind of the secret, but I literally get messages. Okay, not every day. If I'm really active on Instagram, it might be every day. But at the moment, I get a message maybe twice a week from an aspiring luthier saying, "How do I finish my guitars?" And it's just sanding to a high grit and some natural oils and some natural waxes. But that's it. But yeah, it's as I said, the week has been pretty easy. Just been making not easy, but relatively stress-free. I haven't had any issues with shipping and things getting lost in the mail like I had. It wasn't lost, but things being held up in customs like I had last week. But more teas. Hopefully by this time next week, one of these will be strung up. I have some hardware holding up another build, the Wayfair from last week with Jazzmaster Trem. I'm waiting on a little bit of hardware for that. Otherwise, I'll be playing that right now for you. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you're enjoying these videos. It's 5 weeks in a row now, which is pretty good for me. And if you're enjoying it, please let me know, and I will see you hopefully next week. Thank you very much. Bye bye.